You go looking live at Watkins, Glen for race number 9 of the Bolt Racing League Tuesday Night Thunder Series. We're here in New York State for the Watkins Glen 130-kilometer race. I'm alongside Eric Keplinger for tonight's race. As qualifying right now underway, AC Wygent was fastest in practice with a 113.595. We'll see what he can do in this 10-minute qualifying session. They have 2 laps at the 2.45 mile track with 8 turns here. And now we're looking at Dean Clavitt in the 56 machine. We're now seeing 5th in points. No one has. A few drivers have started a lap. DJ Trout being one, Bobby Blowers, Rodney Ayers, Larry Peel Sharp starting her lap. The only winner at the only other road course on the schedule so far in Canada.
Yeah, she really ran a consistent, clean race, and that really helped her get the win. It really was Pacey Wygent battling her, but he made too many mistakes, and that cost him the victory, even though he led the most laps.
Yeah, Wygent's been really good pretty much on every single type of racetrack we went to. Super speedways, short tracks, road courses. We'll see if he can go back-to-back for the second time this season. He's already done it once as Trout goes to the top of the board. As Sharp goes top of the board. Let's see, where is Pacey Wygent as he's coming across for his lap right now. He ran a 113.6 in practice, so he's 2/10 quicker than Sharp in practice. But we'll see what we can do in qualifying here. It's a little bit slower there. About 59 thousandths of a second between him and Lily Patricia Sharp. Ooh, Bobby Blowers up the S's. Clip the grass here. Not sure if that's going to be a 1X for him. It looks like it will be. So his lap times are going to be invalidated. Way off the racetrack goes Wygent. You can do that here at Watkins Glen. Use as much runoff as you can. Sharp sets her lap, but is a little slower actually. So we'll see if Wygent can improve off the final corner here. Just needs to find about half a tenth there down the front straightaway here. Gonna be crossing line. He does not improve. Pretty much exactly the same lap time. And he stays in second for now. John Matthews crossing the line, puts himself up to 5th. Tristan Bayer crossing the line there. He goes 118.3, puts him in 10th. Last of the drivers that have set a lap. Angel Santiago across the line here. Goes a 117.2. That puts him up to 9th, I believe. Yes, it does. Those spins out on the entry to turn 1, so that's going to invalidate Santiago's lap time there. A little under halfway in qualifying. No one else able to set a lap yet. Blowers got invalidated. Christopher Pendel, Nathan Fryer, AC Ellis, and Byron Jones have not went out on the racetrack yet. So we'll give them enough time to see if they go out. They have about they have to go out at least with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, or they don't have enough time to get a lap in. So we'll wait until then and see if anybody else goes on the racetrack. But right now, Sharp on pole position. by a very close margin over the rest of the field. As I don't believe anyone else is gonna go out here. They have about 30 seconds to do so. Right now, it looks like Loyal Sharp is looking like to be on pole position here for tonight's Watkins Glen 130. Time winding down. No other driver gonna be going on the racetrack, so looks like Loyal Sharp will win the pole here tonight at Watkins Glen. So in the meantime, we're gonna take a quick break. Be right back before the green flag. As we're back here at Watkins, Glen, New York, we'll take a quick look at our starting grid here for tonight's 33 lap race. Olivia Sharp on pole position. Out alongside her is Pacey Wygent in second. DJ Trout third. Jimmy Minch fourth. John Matthews fifth. Dean Clive sixth. Joseph Weldon seventh. Rodney Ayers eighth. Angel Santiago 9th, Scott Poninsky in 10th, Kristen Bayer 11th, Bobby Lars 12th, Byron Jones 13th, Casey Ellis 14th. Rounding out your field here tonight will be Christopher Pendell. Nathan Fryer not on the track. I don't believe he is in pit road, so I'm not sure if he will be starting tonight's race. But Eric, what are your keys to the race here for 33 laps?
My keys to the race tonight, you got to make no mistakes, stay focused, stay on the track, have consistent lap times because this field's going to get strung out and track position will really matter. So you want to set yourself up with the pit strategy, and also you want to make sure you pass in the right place. You don't want to kill your momentum down the straightaway and get ultimately get passed. So
yeah, a lot of passing opportunities here at Watkins Glen. Probably the only place you don't really want to pass maybe the bus stop, but down there turn one when they go. Sharp Liz to the green. 9-degree right hand corner for turn number 1. We'll see if they make it through. Green flag is out. Away we go. Oh, we got crashing in the back. That's Poninsky and I think Matthews may be around in the back there. As Poninsky is the only driver through the grass he goes. Everyone else makes it through cleanly up the S as they go. As Trout takes second away from Wygent. So Wygent down to third place.
The same top three is the three drivers who pulled away from the rest of the field at Montreal. Wygent led most of the race, but just made too many mistakes. Ultimately finished second.
Oh, it's Ayers around right in front of the bus stop. Everyone's avoided no contact from anyone else. Flowers was a bit loose there also, but Ayers down to 14th. Now down to last. There is no stage caution here, so like you kind of mentioned, you just got to keep your momentum up, make no mistakes, because you really don't have a chance to come back after you make that mistake, as Ayers all the way down to 15th from the start. He was, I believe, up to 6th place and had a really good initial start for him, so he falls all the way down the last. But after lap number 1, it's Sharp, Trout, Wygent, top 3.
This top 5 is really pulled away from the field already.
And you will have to make at least one pit stop here tonight since we have a 50% fuel. So, like you mentioned, tire strategy could play a factor. When you pit a little earlier, a little later than the drivers around you. You could overcut or undercut them and jump a few positions, or maybe even lose a few positions. Dean Clavitt right there in 4th place. He's only 1 point behind Jimmy Minch, who's right behind him, chasing him down for that 4th place position. So Clavitt just trying to work his way, stay in the top 5, and try to jump up Minch here a few positions.
Yeah, Clavitt off of a top 5 at Dover last week. Finished 5th in a race in Montreal earlier this season. And then Jimmy Meek finished 4th in that race. He's coming off 3 straight top 6 finishes.
Not sure what happened to Bobby Blowers there. I think he may be blinked out there, but we got him back. He's made the move past Minch for 5th place in turn 8, the last turn there. So Minch falls back down to 6th place. As Watkins Glen, you know, the initial few laps, you kind of just stay together. There's not a lot of, I guess, quote-unquote hard corners, but the bus stop, probably the most challenging here at Watkins Glen. As through the grass goes Blowers, he actually makes a move into the bus stop, so he's looking pretty strong early on in this race so far. Are we up to 4th?
Yeah, he's a good road course racer. We saw him in the Great National Series at Landmark Park a few days ago, worked his way through the field, ultimately finished second to Wygent.
Yeah.
Spectre Sharp starting to pull away a little bit from the rest of the top three.
Yeah, we'll see if anyone else can keep up with her, but these guys are the top four, actually, if you include Blowers, are so close on lap times, all within about a tenth of each other right now, which is crazy to see over a course of 2.5 miles. We have pretty much moves all around the racetrack right now. Watkins Glen, there's just a lot of 90-degree corners, so you don't really spread out too much. But after, of course, after all the pit stops and all that happens, you do start to spread out. But the racing on the racetrack is a lot closer than you probably see at Jules Villeneuve. Here comes Minch now.
This track has more passing opportunities than Montreal.
Also a lot more runoff than you have in Montreal too. It's still side by side through 7 and 8. Down the front straightaway they go. Clavitt can seize the position to Minch. So Minch up in the top 5 for the first time tonight.
Yeah, I'd say this track is more forgiving compared to Montreal's. Meek, a little bit wide, slow, off the corner. Clavitt right on his back bumper, but you can't really pass through the S's here, so he's just got to wait to make the move, get the momentum down the back straightaway.
Yeah, you have a little bit of draft, but it's not much draft here. Looks like those rear tires are really struggling already 5 laps into the race. Right now, the top 3 really pulling away from the rest of the field. We saw the same thing at Montreal. But we'll see if the tire strategy, that's really what the big difference was in that race. The tire strategy and also a little bit of contact played enough factor in that race also. So we'll see if the same thing happens here at Watkins Glen. Probably not as much tire wear here as Montreal, but those rear tires still get really shot with how much horsepower these cars have. We have a 3-car battle here for 7th. That's, 8th, excuse me. Joseph Weldon goes wide, turn 1, gets a bit loose. Ooh, clips Christopher Pendel. Pendel goes around through the runoff area, but Byron Jones sneaks his way through. But he got some front damage there. It's Pendel, as Joseph Weldon still stuck on the access road. So he finally gets it back going, but he's down to 14th place. Looks like he just overshot turn 1 there. And unfortunately for Christopher Pendel, he was just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It's unfortunate, but doesn't look like too much damage on that 6 car.
Yeah, he kind of did a 360.
Right quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lost the position to Casey Ellis there, but I don't know if Santiago got by him there. It doesn't look like he did. So he's still in the top 10, and he's actually might even get by Ellis right here. So might not even lose a position, luckily, for that 6 machine, but lost a lot of time now. There's one driver down pit lane, that's Dean Clavitt, early down pit lane. Not sure if the 56 might have some damage or something that we didn't see, but it's a very early pit stop to be making right now. Looks like he's pretty clean there, so could be some tire strategy here being really early, but I mean, I don't know if that's the right decision there, if that is the case.
Yeah, we saw at Montreal, the leaders didn't hit until about a little after halfway through the race.
Yeah, that's typically what you would see at road course, around halfway, a little earlier, maybe a little later, depending on what your strategy is, if you want to pit early or pit later. and how good your tires are feeling, but Clavitt pitting on lap 7, that would be about a 26 laps to go. Not even sure if you can even make it on fuel there with a 50% fuel tank. So that'll be interesting to see. He was running really good, actually. I believe he was in 5th or 6th place around that area. So not sure if there was some damage that we didn't see or something, because did not take a fast repair, so no damage for that machine, 56 machine. Bobby Blauer's closing the gap now, actually. He's down to about 4 seconds of the leader. He's looking really good right now. His lap times are a little bit quicker than Sharp last time by. So it's kind of going to go back to Canada. I feel like it's going to be deja vu all over again for these top 3. Maybe Blauer stinks up, make it a 4-car battle here at the midway point. But the field spraying out, like you said, took about 8 laps, 9 laps or so. But still relatively close for the top 3, though. Rodney Ayers spun on the entry to the bus stop on lap number 1, worked his way back up to the top 10, looking for that 9th place position on Angel Santiago ahead. Santiago really struggling with those rear tires. That's the main thing about road courses. You want to keep your rears underneath you and not burn them up too much, especially when you shift down to 1st or even 2nd gear. The RPMs are really high off the exit of the corner. You can spin the tires and just create a lot of abrasion with those tires and wear them out quickly. As Wygen all of the back bumper of Trout now. Will he look to make a move here in the final corner? Trout actually kind of covers off the entry there. Actually, going down pit lane. It might be a two-stop strategy. It could be a 2-stop race here. I did not think it would be... I mean, this is very early to be pitting with 23 laps to go. 24, actually. I mean, that's the one thing I can really think of is a 2-stop race here.
Yeah, and it's a bit ironic that Pietro Sharp and Trout are pitting at the same time. Going back and looking at Montreal, those drivers wrecked battling for, what, 3rd place? And that really ruined Trout's night after running 2nd for most of the early part of the race, and that's what I've been seeing tonight too. He's been 2nd for basically the entirety.
As actually Blauer's caught up big time to Wygen there. Wygen must have been a mistake in the bus stop. Sorry to cut you off there, but yeah, Wygen I think may have made a mistake actually right here. As Blauer's getting a ton of time on pace to Wygen there. Now he's right on the back bumper of that 0-0 machine.
Yeah, Wygen led the most stops at Montreal, but ultimately he just made too many mistakes, and that cost him the race.
It's down pit lane. Blauer's goes. I mean, it has to be a 2-stop strategy here. That's the only thing. I mean, you're on the gas a lot longer here at Watkins, Glen near Montreal. That's I mean, maybe. I mean, you have those 2 long straightaways at Montreal also. So I thought we would just see a 1-stop strategy here, but I guess with the 50% fuel, 9 gallons does not last long here at a 2.5-mile racetrack. Actually, you're pretty much full throttle for a good majority of it, probably 80% of the lap here. Up the S's, you're probably lifting a little bit, but mostly full throttle. So, 2-stop strategy. It's gonna be very interesting to see when everyone pits as Flowers off of pit lane now, but Sharp and Trout way ahead of Bobby Blowers. gap between Sharp and Bobby Blowers is about 5 seconds. When Sharp came into pit lane, it was about 3.5 to 4 seconds. So about a second a lap difference in that 1 lap extra. As Wygen continuing to stay out, Wygen could maybe do a one-stop strategy here if he saves enough fuel. That could be his strategy right now.
Yeah, I've seen it multiple times here in LRN. Just stay out as long as he can. So I think this could be another example of that. Does have lap traffic to deal with, but I don't think it should be too much of a problem.
Yeah, there's a little lap traffic ahead. That's Angel Santiago. Santiago's been struggling on those rear tires for a while now. His fastest lap time just set by Sharp, so he's really quick right now. 13.8. Last time by, Wygen ran a 16.1, so about 2.3 seconds quicker than our race leader. Which does have to go through some not lap traffic, but some drivers on some older tires. Rodney Ayers being one of them. On the outside through the S is not the best place to make a move there. Not the most optimal place to move, I guess you could say. Wygen again staying out. So I mean, at this point, I would think Wygen would be looking for the one-stop strategy here. Unless those drivers chose to do a two-stop strategy, which, I mean, an extra pit stop costs them about 42 seconds in pit lane. On the racetrack, it cost them about 30 or so seconds. So I mean,
Yeah.
with an extra pit stop, they'll have to go an extra 30 seconds to catch up to a driver that does a one-stop strategy.
I'm just wondering when Wygen comes down pit road, how far behind.
As Blowers goes quickest. Blowers
Yeah,
looking really good right now.
I'm just wondering where Wygen will be in relation to Pietro Sharp right now with those new tires. You just gotta just run as quick as you can. Just try to put yourself at an advantage whenever Wygen comes off pit road.
Yeah, halfway would be around lap 17, 16, around that area. Looks like he's coming in this time. Maybe, no, he's not. Actually, I thought he was blending in, but at this point, I would think Wygen would just do a one-stop. I mean, he has to go about 2-3 more laps compared to the rest of the field. Because, I mean, if you pit on lap 10, you pit again around lap 20, 21-ish, give or take. Then go 10 more laps to the end. If you're Wygen, you pit around 17 and go to the end. So you'd have about a few lap fresher tires for about 3 or 4 laps, and everyone else would have 3 or 4 lap fresher tires on you. So I mean, right now they have about 10 lap fresher tires on Pacey Wygen, and he's about a second half slower compared to Sharp.
Yeah, for YG, you're just running more and more slower lap times than Pietro Sharp. But the thing is, you're not losing as much time on pit road.
Yeah. Because at this point, staying out this long, you have to do a one-stop for it to make sense. Yeah. We'll see what he does here. Coming lap 15. He's staying out once again, so very interesting. I mean, unless he's saving fuel, everyone else selected to pit very early. Let's go on board and see what he's doing right here. So he's actually he is saving fuel. He's staying in 4th gear on turn 1, lifting quite a bit. I'm not sure if that's just how much you lift in the S's because of how loose the rear tires are. I mean, he's staying in the higher gears, which burns less fuel. Kind of short shifting it a little bit sometimes. Because he doesn't even go down to 2nd gear through the S's. 5,000 RPM, very, very low RPM. Not be going down to 2nd gear. So he's definitely saving by staying in the third and fourth gears only. So yeah, he's definitely saving fuel, but I mean, over the course of 2.5 miles, 8 turns, you can save quite a bit of fuel if you just don't go down in second gear.
Yeah, that's just gonna make his times even slower too.
There he goes again, staying out another lap. I mean, this is a very bold strategy, but I mean, he doesn't really have much to lose. He's in the points lead by about 50 points, which is pretty much a race ahead of everyone. So even if he has a bad strategy call, the worst that really happens is he goes down to like 5th maybe.
Yeah, he's already gotten 4 wins this season, looking to go back to back again.
Yeah, only driver to do so.
If
As
he
Jimmy,
didn't lose that Daytona on the 14th, he would have won 4 in a row.
as Jimmy mentioned down pit lane, he was one of the other drivers to stay out as Christopher Pendell, Byron Jones, and Pacey Wygant, the only drivers are still out on the racetrack here in lap 16. So he's going to make it to halfway, so he is good on fuel if he wants to pit this time by. As Rodney Ayers down pit lane also. So I'm expecting Wygant to come down pit lane this time. There he goes. He really stretched out that fuel a lot more than any other driver on the racetrack that we saw. That was in contention for the win, which was Sharp, Trout, and Blowers. Everyone else, they all pitted 10 laps before him. As Jones coming down pit lane, so Sharp will retake the race lead. Have about a 2-second gap on Trout. We'll see where the cycles out to Wygant. How far back will he be? So into the box he goes.
Victor Sharp was about 20 seconds behind Wygant before he came down pit road. That's 4 tires and fuel here for the 00. Make sure you don't make a mistake. That'll cost you the race. No speeding.
Off the pit lane through the blue cone, so he looks good off exit. He's about 16 seconds back. So also he does have 6-lap fresher tires in these guys.
And keep in mind that our leaders will have to pit again. Sharp, Trout, Flowers.
Yeah, that we think. I mean, you would assume they can't go more than 20 plus laps on this tank of fuel. So I would assume they all have to pit one more time. I mean, if I was them, I would probably pit around lap 23 or so with 10 laps to go. Probably the best strategy here. Get as much fresh tires as you can compared to Wygant. Because if they pit on lap 23, they have about 5-lap fresher tires in Pacey Wygant. Jimmy Minch also following the same strategy as the 00 of Wygant too. So he could be one to watch out for. He's only about 6 seconds back from Wygant. Probably not a chance to win it, but it's definitely could get a top 3 if his strategy goes well. As this race is a lot different than we've seen at Montreal. Everyone else pretty much had roughly the same strategy within a few laps of each other. But a huge curveball here with Wygant and Minch staying out as long as they can and being able to make it to halfway and only having to do one pit stop if need be. Everyone else having to do a 2-stop strategy. It'll be interesting to see at the end of this one whose strategy call will come out on top. So down the pit road, those Trout and Blowers on lap 20. So they pitted later than a little bit of Sharp, but now they're pitting earlier than our race leader. So they overcut, then now undercut. As Wygen easily gonna get by them as they're not even entered the box yet. And he's only gonna have three lap older tires in those drivers. So I mean, I think if Wygen can save enough fuel, this could be easily the winning strategy here tonight. Good stop from those two, as Clavitt also coming down pit lane. He's was out there for about 13 laps on those tires. As Minch up to third, Matthews fourth, Byron Jones fifth. Trout about 4 seconds back from Jones. As Will Sharp come down pit lane this time, looks like our race leader will. As this will be the money stop here. How far ahead will Pacey Wygen be? It looks like Dean Clavitt took 2 tires there. Not sure if that was the right call here, especially on a road course. I mean, most of the turns are right-handers, but I mean, there's no banking here at Watkins Glen, really, so it's kind of hard to tell if that would be a good strategy call. But as Wygen gonna breeze by here as he's down in turn 1. Sharp just gets into her box there. Four tires and a full tank of fuel there. And away she goes. She's got about... As actually Trout almost getting by Sharp there. This could be a battle for 5th place for now on the racetrack. We'll see where they all cycle through, but Sharp under attack from DJ Trout behind.
Yeah, Petro Sharp had an 18-second advantage over Wygen before she came down pit road. I don't think this will be much of a contest here for 5th. Petro Sharp has better tires than Trout. You just got to make sure to not spin yourself or get loose on cold tires. That's the thing.
Yeah. Cold tires, very... You gotta keep that in mind here. As Trout has about a lap older tires, but also they are a lot warmer than Sharp, so the first lap probably here, Trout would have the advantage. It looks like he might, as he's right on the back bumper. And right ahead of him, Byron Jones under attacking John Matthews as Matthews down pit lane. As Jones moves up to third, but Sharp and Trout right behind him, not too far away.
Trout backed up the corner, did a great job of getting the momentum down the straightaway. Looks slow into one, gets a bit loose.
Contact. We saw these guys. Azul rubbering as Trout around in the show hard in the outside wall. Sharp gets through. Here comes Blowers. Up the S as they go. Again, contact between those two at a road course in turn 1. As I think
really
Trout hard hit. He's going to have to take a faster repair. His car is very damaged. Might have some left front damage, wheel damage.
He's going to have to come all the way back around and repair that.
Wow.
Yeah, his night is over. He was able to recover for a 3rd place finish after contact with Sharp at Montreal.
He kind of just locked up there. And I mean, I guess kind of expected Sharp to be a little further out maybe.
Just going for the same piece of racetrack. Blowers lucky he didn't hit Trout there.
I mean, it was a good move from Trout there, but under braking just lost it a little bit, lost the rear end. Made some contact, and I mean, just inches there. It's the difference between being up to second on the racetrack and having to come down pit lane. So, like, once again,
Pedro Sharp's going to have to be driving around on the track with damage too.
Yeah. As she's still in 4th, and looks like she can probably get up to Byron Jones, but depending on how much fuel Jimmy Minch and Pacey Wygen save, I just don't think she has enough tire, and also with the damage she has. Might be slight damage, but still, it could be enough. Actually, it looks like she is pretty clean on the front side. as Jones gets out of the way. Flowers isn't too far behind either. Could make things interesting here for a top 3 finish. Just unfortunate for DJ Trout there, as I think he has officially retired from the session. Looking like for a good point save for him. He's 86 points back from Wygent. Wygent looking to try to win this one, going back to back, but still, battle for second could still is up for grab as Blowers is in 4th place right now, and looks like in the moment Trout was going to go up to seconds. Blowers was still going to be in 4th, depending on the other drivers, how Minch does, and Pace Wygent if they can save enough fuel. But it looks like they probably will be able to here if they can do the same thing they did in the first half of the race.
Jimmy Minch in a good position to get a top 5 after the pit cycle at the end of the race, and inch closer to DJ Trout for 3rd in points. He's 15 back right now. Trout will finish outside the top 10.
Yeah, right now he's in 12th, and if Tristan Bayer or Casey Ellis get on the racetrack, he could fall all the way down to 14th, depending on some circumstances there. Because actually he is down to 13th as Tristan Bayer now coming off of pit lane, so Trout down to 13th, and looks like he might be overtaken by Jimmy Minch here, who finished 2nd if he can hang on. And now the battle for 3rd, still heating up as Blower is very loose up the S's.
Yeah, he's really ruining that car. That's just only going to further erode his tires away.
Yeah, we kind of saw that at Limar Park Saturday night. He was really pushing it compared to Pacey Wygent. Also looks like he might have some right front damage also in that 34 machine. Not sure exactly what from.
Love to go on board 34 here.
And you see he's just wheeling out things so much, but also thing to note, Jimmy Minch catching up to Pacey Wygent right now, gap down to under 2 seconds. Minch he did pit 1 lap earlier than Wygent, so he might have to save a little bit more than our race leader. But right now he's actually gaining quite a bit of time on the 00 machine.
Wygent also could be saving a lot more, and then later on, closer to the end of the race, he'll start to go quicker. That is something to consider as well.
Yeah, the gap's been around 2 seconds or so, but just saw Minch was closing in within 2 seconds, but it could just be flux rain. Wygent could have made a mistake as, Minch very loose into turn 1.
Just a few laps ago, Minch was...
The Sharp is actually really catching. About 2 seconds quicker last time by. Under 10 seconds between her and Pacey Wygent. So this race is definitely not over with almost 6.5 laps to go.
Yeah, you just want to make sure you don't make a mistake. At least Victor Sharp will have to pass at least 2 cars here. Make sure you get around them efficiently.
And also 1 lap traffic up ahead. That is Tristan Bayer. He is 4 laps down. In the way, not what Sharp wants.
Gave him the bumper at the
Yeah.
bus stop.
I mean,
I mean, he's got to see the position. Put Sharp way faster.
as Minch is really closing on, I'm not sure if he's saving anymore. He might, he might think he can't make it anymore on fuel, so he's like, what's the point at this? What's the point of saving? As now he's chasing down our race leader. He's not won this season, so this could be a very breakout win for him here at Watkins Glen, if he can pull it off here.
Yeah, highest finish so far was fourth at Montreal. He's finished sixth the last two races.
As you can see, Sharp now in the background, about one back straightaway away. With 6 laps to go, he just has to gain about a second a lap, and he's on pace to do that easily, as Wygen is very, very slow these last few laps. Way slower than he was in the first half of the race, even with him saving fuel. You're in a 17.7 last time by, and when he was saving fuel in the first part of the race, he was running about low 116, so he's about a second and a half off of his fuel saving pace at the beginning. So not sure if he maybe miscalculated how much fuel he was saving, and he's kind of compensating for that right now. But with 5 laps to go, it's not looking very good for Pacey Wygen.
Yeah, Mensch is really using up his tires right now too, loose off of the exit of the last corner.
Let's see what gear Pacey Wygen's in. 3rd gear off the exit compared to Mensch. I think he's in 2nd. Kind of see the downshifts when the flames come underneath the car.
Like, got a bit of dirty air entering the S's there. Lost a few car links on Wygen. Had to back off. Just not a good place to pass.
Yeah, I think the last 2 corners after the carousels are probably the best place to pass here at Watkins Glen and down in turn 1. There's a little dirt on the racetrack there, could be affecting entry of the carousel. The new iRacing update. And also watch out for Bobby Blowers. If Sharp gets in, if Sharp gets up there, and these guys ahead start blocking, Blowers is still in contention to win this thing too, with 5 laps to go, coming to 4. So this could be a turn into a 4-car battle for the race win. He's closing laps here. Here goes Minch down pit lane. I kind of talked about that. Seemed like he was pushing a lot at the end there. He cannot make it on fuel, as that just leaves Sharp and Wygen now 1-2. 5-second gap between those 2 drivers and 4 laps to decide it.
Minch should hold on to at least the top 6.
Yeah, if he only does fuel only, that could be a strategic call here. Looks like he is. Doesn't look like, yeah, fuel only for him. Christopher Pendel coming across the line. So he's about 13 lap old tires. So these guys' tires are the same. So 5th place for Minch is a very good result for him. He's still going to gain a lot on DJ Trout. Not so much on Bobby Blowers, but still a good result for him in top 5. As Wygen has really picked up the pace here the last few laps. He might have been in ultra conservative mode, knowing how big his gap was, just making sure he has enough fuel to make it to the end. And with 3 laps to go, the gap down to 4 seconds.
Would love to see a graphic of the last 3 lap times for Wygen compared to Sharp. How much has she been gaining per lap? Victor Sharp lost about 2/10 into turn 1. Probably got loose in that corner.
Maybe over pushing a little bit. He does have about 4 lap fresher tires in Wygen, but looks like that advantage kind of wearing off now. still gaining a little bit of time, but at this pace, she will not be able to get there. About 2.5 laps to go. Has to gain about a second and a half lap if she even wants a chance at this race win. And Wygent's still not 100% good on fuel. We don't know what his fuel number is. Could still be short. He made it to halfway when he pitted, but we'll see how much fuel he saved on the second half of this run. Across the line, about a second, I think, gained right there. Yeah, 1.2. It's a good times, but just not good enough here right now.
That strategy ended up working for Wygent, the one stop compared to the two for the rest of our leaders.
Out here for 7th, John Matthews and Dean Clavitt. Matthews has about 2 lap first retires in Clavitt. Closest bout on the racetrack right now. Those two struggling for grip off the final corner there. Go back up to the race lead though. Sharp has closed the gap down to about 2 seconds. Now under 2 seconds. Can Wygent make it on fuel? As he saved enough. White flag in the air, 2.45 miles to go. And Wygent hold on for 8 more turns. Up the S's. On the back straightaway. 1.7 seconds is the gap now. Lap traffic ahead. That could be at play a factor. That is the there's Tristan Bayer up ahead, the 01.
Gave Sharp some problems last time, but I don't think he'll be a factor in this.
Yeah, he might be too far ahead. Gap's now down to 1.2. If Wygent runs out now, Sharp is there to pounce. Down the short chute. Penultimate corner. As Tristan Bayer ahead, wrecking. Off the racetrack he goes. As now the gap's down to under a second. Sharp gonna send it to the last corner. Not gonna be enough. Wygent off of the final corner. Does he have enough fuel? And he does. What a run for Wygent. One-stop strategy wins the race here tonight at Watkins Glen. What a strategy call for that 00 machine.
Gets win number 5 on the season and goes back-to-back for the second time, too. Just able to hold off. Sharp. Hard charging at the end. Drifted to the final corner, too.
Yeah, got
driving
down.
the wheels off that thing.
Got down with under a second there. But Wygent just did a master class right there of saving fuel. Do a battle for a 7th. Here comes Clavitt on Matthews. Clavitt way up off the racetrack he goes. Through the final corner. He has all that marbles on his tires and he overshoots through turn 8. And John Matthews holds off for 7th. As Clavitt settles for 8th.
Tried the send and run and just did not work out. He missed.
As Wygent runs out fuel right there. So he was very close to not making it on fuel there. Man.
Great bounce back for him after leading the most laps in Montreal. Just like I've been saying throughout the broadcast, he made too many mistakes that race. But this race, no mistakes made here. At least that what we saw.
Yeah, I mean,
a clean race.
Saved enough fuel. And for a second there, we thought Dean Clavitt, or not Dean Clavitt, it was Jimmy Minch, had a chance at the win there. He didn't save enough fuel, so he kind of knew there was no point in saving fuel there. He rounds up 5th, so pretty good result from him.
Yeah, he'll chip away at Trout's 3rd place position in points.
Yeah, we'll see what the points look like. He's about 16 points back, or I mean, 15 points back, excuse me.
Yeah,
so,
unfortunate for Trout. Ran on the top 2 for most of the day, ran 2nd place for most of the day. And then just another road course, like we saw at Montreal, having contact Rieto Sharp both going for the same spot, same part of the racetrack in turn one, just contact for both drivers. I wonder how much it played a factor in Sharp catching Wygen if they didn't have that
I mean,
contact.
yeah,
But
that's a really solid point, actually. That could be the difference between the win right there. I mean, that had to be at least half a second. And then if Sharp's within half a second Wygen, that just makes him a lot more nervous. He may have to push a little sooner and may have not saved enough fuel at the end. So I mean, that little contact could be the difference between a win and a loss, pretty much.
yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest moment in this race.
Yep,
Wygen,
as Park's on the front straightaway, not able to do burnout, so we'll take a quick break and we'll speak to our top three. Actually, no, he is. I was out of fuel there.
almost got it around. Maybe it was just saving enough gas on the cooldown lap to be able to burn down here on the front stretch.
I'm sure he didn't forget how to do a burnout.
No, there's no way. He does it too much.
No, but yeah, he's gonna park here on the front straightaway. We take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back here. Watkins going to speak to our race winner and our top three drivers. First off, Pacey Wygent getting it done here at Watkins Glen. Hello, Pacey, you got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
What a strategy call that was with a one-stop strategy. When did you know you could pull that off, or did you just try it the whole race pretty much?
It was right from the beginning. I mean, you got roughly 16 laps, and with it being 33, you just needed to save that one extra. But the pace of the front runners was kind of insane. Um, I know in the beginning there, I was trying to save fuel while hanging with them, and I think that's ultimately what won me the race was just being able to kind of stick with them and save fuel. But other than that, it was right from the get go. That was the plan.
Yeah, we saw at the end there, it was Jimmy Minch catching you there at the end. Were you kind of worried that he may have saved enough fuel and a little earlier and was pushing you there, or did you just didn't think he had enough fuel at the end? So, well, he didn't, but with about 5 laps to go, he was really gaining on you there.
Yeah, he had pit a lap prior to me, so I kind of knew he was going to be either hardcore saving or he was going to have to pit again. So um, I wasn't too concerned. Um, it was just more or less me just trying to hit my marks and stay consistent with my lap times. I'm pretty sure almost the entire last run I was running like the high 15s, and I know in practice and stuff we were running like 13.5s, and they were just wicked lap times. So the fact that I was running like 2-3 seconds off pace and really just could not make a mistake while doing it.
Yeah, with a great strategy call for you here tonight, winning at Watkins Glen. Anyone like thank for tonight's win?
Yeah, I got to shut up PBR Racing. Great group of guys. You guys up in the booth for broadcasting each and every week. Bolt as a whole, Air's designed for making the wrap. Um, Dean Clavitt for putting this all on, and uh, another unlucky break for DJ. So shout out to him.
Yeah, congrats on your win here tonight at Watkins Glen, and we'll see you next time.
All right, thank you.
So it's Pacey Wagen, our Watkins Glen 130-kilometer winner. And we'll speak to our second place finisher. Finished in a second of Pacey Wagen, almost caught him at the end. There was Louis Patrol Sharp. Oh, Louis, you got a copy?
Yeah.
So you wind up in second, almost getting up to Wagen. Talk us through those final around 10 laps there, trying to catch up to Pacey Wagen there.
I just had to run my pace. I knew he was saving fuel as from his strategy, pin on lap 16, so I knew he was fuel saving to try and make the one stop work, so I just had to run my pace, and I pit a lap earlier. I'm probably there, but messed up that one, and that's on me.
Yeah, we also saw the contact between you and DJ Trout. Talk us through that one there. It may have cost you also a chance at maybe getting up to Wagen on the last lap too.
Um, I haven't learned magic yet, so my car can't disappear when I'm on the inside, and no matter how hard you try swiping at someone, they can't just bend out of your way on a whim. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, and you saw the good result here. Second place, almost got to Wagen at the end. Anyone else you had to thank for tonight's second place run?
Uh, Lady for just making sure I kept my head down and turn on demon tweets. I was on the car. Ring taxi for being on the car. Just messed it up.
Well, you still wind up in the second place finish, so good points today for you at Watkins Glen, and we'll see you next time at Michigan.
Yeah.
That was Louis Sharp finishing up in second place. Speak to our third place driver of Bobby Blowers. As he had to work his way through the field he started 12th place, did not set a lap, I believe. I think he maybe clipped the grass, got 1x there. So no qualifying lap for Bobby Blowers, so he rounds himself off to third. Hello, Bobby, you got a copy?
Yep, I do.
So you end up third place after starting 12th. Takasu going through the field. I don't believe you set qualifying lap. I think we caught it. You clipped the grass off the S's, I believe it was.
Yeah, the first lap I messed up. I don't even remember what I messed up there. Probably just ran wide after turn one, but yeah, tire dip after the S's in the grass, and I don't know. I just pulled a Jimmy Johnson when he got his throttle hung and went straight through the bus stop and into the
Yeah, I
carousel.
think we caught that part too.
uh, yeah, race overall, I was being a little aggressive early on and feel bad for the guys that got in too, but I knew I needed to go and get around them as quick as possible to have a shot here. And I think if I was just a little bit better on saving tire on that last run, I could have probably hung with Sharp and maybe had a chance for second or maybe in first. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy with third.
Yeah, still a great result for you. Second in points, finishing third. So I mean, you don't really lose too much, but Wygant just pretty much dominating right now. What's your thoughts on next week at Michigan? 60 laps there.
I don't entirely know how this car's going to handle there with the aero changes they made in the last couple updates, but from past experience, I've been pretty quick there, so we'll see what happens when we get there.
Yeah, it should be a pretty fun race there. Usually always a good one at Michigan. So anyone you like to thank for tonight's third place finish?
First and foremost, shout out to my mom and dad. I know they're watching. 213simware.com, PBR Racing, Blink Designs, Bolt Racing League, RevSimShop.com, and you guys in the booth.
Well, congrats on your third place here tonight at Watkins Glen, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you.
So those are our top 3 finishers, and we'll take a quick look at our race results overall here for the Tuesday Night Thunder Series. Watkins Glen 130-kilometer race. Casey Wygant ends up winning, Loeb Sharp second, Flowers third, Byron Jones fourth. Also, he was on the same strategy as Pacey Wygant, so obviously worked out for him. Revenge fifth, Christopher Pendel sixth, John Matthews seventh, Dean Clavet eighth, Ronnie Ayers ninth. Got spun on lap 1. He was in 6th place and he was looking pretty good. A good qualifying spot for him, but just unfortunate luck. Red 17 machine. Angel Santiago 10th. Joseph Weldon 11th. Tristan Bayer 12th. DJ Trout 13th. Unfortunate for him, got involved. May have been a little bit of his fault. Rough racing with him and Sharp there. For ended up being seconds overall, but KCL is 14th, Scott Paninsky 15th, Nathan Fryer not staying a lap here in 16th place. Overall, what's your final thoughts on tonight's race?
Yeah, it was just lights out for Wygant from the go, dominated the race. Getting his 5th win of the year, avenging his loss at Montreal. Great pit strategy, played it to perfection. It literally came down to car lengths. Like you just mentioned, Trout in second for most of the race, at least the start of it, in contact with Sharp, just like at Montreal, ended his day. It allows Minch to catch him in points, and really that was our big moment in this race because that crash set Sharp back a few seconds, and that really played the difference at the end. Allowed Wygant to hold her off by a few car lengths off the final corner coming out of the line. And if that wreck wouldn't have happened, Sharp could have gotten around Wygant and won this race.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really something you think about in the moment, but it's 9/10 between her and Wygant. I would say that wreck probably cost her at least half a second, if not more. I mean, that's a pretty big difference there. Also, may have been a little damage too, which obviously does not help here at a very aero-dependent road course, more than probably most.
Yeah, our upcoming races here in Ren, Bolt Racing League next for Tuesday Night Thunder. Be at Michigan next week for 60 laps. And coming up this Friday is the NAOR Cup Series at Myrtle Beach, round 1 of the playoffs. This Saturday, Bolt Racing Grand National Series goes to Phoenix Legacy. And then our Sunday Night Series Stampede Racing League is off for 2 weeks, but will be returning February 16th at COTA.
Yeah, a lot of road courses kind of right now, interestingly, but should be fun one. At COTA, I think, in my opinion, COTA is probably one of the best racing-wise for stock cars. That should be pretty fun, but that's 2 weeks away. But Myrtle Beach, some short track action there in the next gen car. I don't think I've ever seen a cup race there at Myrtle Beach or ever broadcasted in Myrtle Beach before, so that should be a fun one too.
Yeah, we got a good mix of tracks of road course, short track, intermediate, and then a bigger track like Michigan.
Yep, so that's going to be it here tonight. We'll see you Friday nights for the NAOR Cup Series playoff race number 1. That should be a good one there in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.